1. We've got a real treat for you. A 1969 Buick Riviera that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic beauty is a real head-turner, with its sleek, straight body and iconic styling. According to the seller, this Riviera has been stored indoors its entire life, which explains the lack of rust on the body. That's a huge plus for any classic car collector. Now, let's talk about the restoration process. The seller has already started the work, including a complete overhaul of the front suspension with all new components. They've also installed a brand new high-performance 430 V8 engine, which is sure to provide plenty of power and excitement behind the wheel. The engine bay is decked out with expensive chrome parts, adding to the car's overall appeal. The seller has also replaced many other crucial components, such as the tires, rims, front and rear bumpers, exhaust system, radiator, disc brake rotors, brake master cylinder, and various engine parts. This shows that they've put a lot of effort into bringing this Riviera back to its former glory. However, it's important to note that the restoration is not 100% complete. The car still needs front seats, a heater core, a carburetor, and brake calipers. The seller does have some additional parts available, like the rear seat, front grille, weather stripping, and linkage from the gas pedal to the carburetor. The asking price for this 1969 Buick Riviera is $10,000, which seems reasonable considering the work that's already been done and the car's overall condition. The low mileage and accident-free history are also attractive selling points. In summary, this 1969 Buick Riviera is an exciting project car that's ready for someone to take it across the finish line. With its solid foundation and many new components, it has the potential to be a real showstopper once the restoration is complete. If you're up for the challenge and want to own a piece of American automotive history, this Riviera might just be the one for you. 2. We're taking a closer look at a 1983 Chevrolet El Camino that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This classic ride is a half-ton pickup with a 5.0L 305 V8 engine under the hood, paired with an automatic transmission for smooth sailing. Now, let's talk about the condition of this El Camino. The seller describes it as being in like-new condition, which is a bold claim for a vehicle that's nearly 40 years old. However, based on the provided information, it seems that this El Camino has been well maintained throughout its life. The odometer reads 102,347 miles, which is relatively low for a vehicle of this age. It's important to keep in mind that the condition of a classic car is not solely determined by its mileage, but it's still a good sign that this El Camino hasn't been driven into the ground. The exterior of the car is finished in a sleek silver paint job, which the seller claims is in beautiful condition. Without seeing more detailed photos or inspecting the car in person, it's hard to verify the extent of the paint's beauty. However, if the seller's description is accurate, this El Camino's appearance should be a real head-turner. Inside, you'll find a radio to keep you entertained on your drives, and air conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable. These features are a nice bonus, especially considering the age of the vehicle. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the asking price. The seller has listed this 1983 Chevrolet El Camino for $15,000, which might seem steep for some buyers. However, it's essential to consider the current market for classic cars and the condition of this particular vehicle. If the El Camino is truly in like-new condition as the seller claims, it could potentially justify the asking price for the right buyer. In conclusion, this 1983 Chevrolet El Camino seems to be a well-maintained classic with a desirable engine and transmission combination. The low mileage and like-new condition, as described by the seller, are definite selling points. However, as with any used vehicle purchase, it's crucial to inspect the car in person, verify the accuracy of the seller's claims, and determine if the asking price aligns with your budget and the current market value. If everything checks out, this El Camino could be a great addition to any enthusiast's collection or a fun daily driver for someone looking to stand out from the crowd. 3. we've got an interesting find on Craigslist. A 1983 Buick Regal that's waiting for the right person to bring it back to life. This Regal T-Type is a rear-wheel drive coupe with a clean title, but it's not currently running. The seller is asking $4,500 firm for this project car, or they're open to trade offers. Now let's dive into the details. Under the hood, you'll find a 5.3 Vortec V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission. This is a departure from the original power plant, but it could make for an exciting and powerful combination once everything is up and running. The seller mentions that they have all the necessary accessories to get the engine running, including the water pump, alternator, and power steering components. Moving on to the exterior, the seller has a Grand National fender body kit that comes with the car. This could give the Regal a more aggressive and sporty look once installed. The paint color is listed as brown, but the seller doesn't provide any information about the condition of the paint or body. There are front bumper fillers that need to be installed, which suggests that the car may have some cosmetic issues or incomplete work. On a positive note, the interior is described as being in great shape. This is a significant plus, as interior restoration can be costly and time-consuming. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the fact that the car doesn't currently run. This is a significant drawback and means that the buyer will need to invest time and money to get the Regal back on the road. The seller is upfront about this, stating that it's a perfect project for someone with mechanical skills. The asking price of $4,500 firm might seem a bit high for a non-running project car, but it's essential to consider the potential value of the Regal T-Type once it's fully restored. These cars have a strong following, and a well-done restoration could yield a significant return on investment. The seller also mentions that they can deliver the car for an additional fee, which could be helpful for buyers who don't have access to a trailer or tow vehicle. In conclusion, this 1983 Buick Regal T-Type is a project car that requires a buyer with mechanical skills and the willingness to invest time and money into the restoration process. The 5.3 Vortec engine and automatic transmission could make for a powerful and exciting combination, while the Grand National body kit and great interior are definite selling points. However, the non-running condition and potentially high asking price are factors to consider carefully. If you're up for the challenge and have a vision for this Regal, it could be a rewarding project. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and gather as much information as possible before making a decision. 4. We've got a real treat for you. A 1979 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme that's ready to hit the road after a long hiatus. This classic beauty is being offered on Craigslist for just $6,500. And from what the seller tells us, it seems like a fantastic deal. First off, let's talk about the appearance of this Cutlass Supreme. It's a real head-turner with its sleek black exterior and matching black leather interior. The car features bucket seats and a center console, giving it a sporty and luxurious feel. With just 120,000 miles on the odometer, this Cutlass Supreme has plenty of life left in it. Under the hood, you'll find an Oldsmobile 350 V8 engine, which is known for its smooth power delivery and reliability. The engine is paired with an automatic transmission, making this Cutlass Supreme a breeze to drive. The seller mentions that the car runs smoothly, which is a testament to the quality of the Oldsmobile engineering. Now here's where things get even more exciting. The seller has recently performed some maintenance on the car to ensure that it's ready for its new owner. They've changed all the fluids, including the fuel, and have installed a fresh Delco tune-up kit. This means that the engine should be running at peak performance, and you shouldn't have to worry about any immediate maintenance issues. To top it all off, the seller has also installed brand new Cooper Cobra tires on the car. This is a significant upgrade, as new tires can greatly improve the handling and safety of any vehicle, especially a classic like this Cutlass Supreme. The seller does mention that the car hasn't been on the road for a long time, which could raise some concerns. However, they also state that everything works as it should, which suggests that the car has been properly maintained and stored during its time off the road. In conclusion, this 1979 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme seems like an excellent opportunity for any enthusiast looking for a classic car that's ready to cruise. With its stunning black-on-black appearance, smooth-running 350 V8 engine, and recent maintenance and upgrades, this Cutlass Supreme is a real gem. The asking price of $6,500 seems more than fair for a car of this caliber, especially considering the recent work that's been done. If you're in the market for a classic American muscle car, this 1979 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme is definitely worth checking out. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and take it for a test drive before making a final decision. 5. We've got an incredible find on Craigslist. A true survivor, a 1974 Cadillac Eldorado with an astonishingly low 28,000 original miles. This classic luxury coupe has been passed down through generations and is now looking for a new home where it can be cherished and preserved. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 500 cubic inch V8 engine that powers the front wheels through an automatic transmission. The seller mentions that the car starts and runs perfectly, a testament to the quality of Cadillac engineering and the care this Eldorado has received over the years. The exterior of this Eldorado is finished in a stunning white paint that's still shiny and has never been repainted. The seller notes that the car has never been in an accident, which is a huge plus for any classic car enthusiast. The only minor issue mentioned is that the rear plastic fillers are being replaced due to age-related crumbling, but the seller has new pieces painted and ready to install. Moving on to the interior, it's like stepping back in time. The white leather seats show no signs of wear, and the door panels and steering wheel insert are in equally impressive condition. Even the carpet and rubber floor mats are like new, with only minor discoloration from age. This Eldorado is loaded with classic Cadillac features, including power windows, power seats, power locks, tilt and telescopic steering wheel, power antenna, and a power trunk. The 8-track player is also fully functional, adding to the car's vintage charm. The seller includes a wealth of original documentation, such as the brochures that came with the car, the original keys, and the Protecto plate in the original owner's name. There's even a logbook detailing the car's history since 2001, when the seller's brother took ownership. A unique feature is the dealer-installed Cadillac bug catcher that has been on the hood since new, which the seller removed last year but will include with the car. Now, let's address a couple of minor issues. The air conditioning system has a leak and will need to be fixed, and the clock only works intermittently, likely needing a cleaning. However, these issues are relatively minor considering the car's overall condition and low mileage. The seller is asking $12,750 for this incredible 1974 Cadillac Eldorado, which, given its condition and history, seems like a fair price for such a rare find. The seller is firm on the price and not interested in trades, which suggests that they know the value of what they have. In conclusion, this 1974 Cadillac Eldorado is a true gem, a survivor with only 28,000 original miles and a well-documented history. Its stunning white exterior, impeccable interior, and classic Cadillac features make it a dream come true for any vintage car collector. If you're in the market for a classic luxury coupe and appreciate the value of a well-maintained, low-mileage vehicle, this Eldorado is definitely worth checking out. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and review all the provided documentation before making a decision. 6. We've got a real treat for you. A 1976 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray that's looking for a new home. This classic American sports car is being offered on Craigslist for $10,000, and from what the seller tells us, it seems like a solid deal. Under the hood, you'll find a 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's paired with an automatic transmission, making this Corvette a breeze to drive. The seller mentions that the car runs strong and doesn't get hot, which is a great sign for any classic car. They also note that it's freeway friendly, so you can take this beauty out for a spin on the open road without any worries. The exterior of this Corvette is finished in a sleek black paint job that the seller describes as decent. There are no cracks in the body, and most importantly, no rust anywhere. This is a huge plus for any classic car, as rust can be a real nightmare to deal with. The car also features T-tops, which are a classic Corvette feature that allows you to enjoy open-air driving on nice days. Moving on to the interior, this Corvette comes with power steering, factory air conditioning, and power windows. These features add to the car's overall comfort and convenience, making it a great choice for cruising around town or hitting the highway. Now, the seller does mention that the car needs some minor TLC to be top-notch. They encourage potential buyers to look closely at the pictures and note that there's some finishing work to be done. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as it gives the new owner the opportunity to put their own personal touch on the car and make it truly their own. The seller provides the VIN number 1Z37L35410045 and states that they have a clean California title in hand, as well as current California registration. This is important information for any potential buyer, as it shows that the car has a clear history and is legally registered. In conclusion, this 1976 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray seems like a great opportunity for any enthusiast looking for a classic American sports car. With its strong-running 350 V8 engine, automatic transmission, and classic Corvette features like T-tops, this car has a lot to offer. While it may need some minor finishing work, the overall condition of the car seems to be good, with no rust or major issues. The asking price of $10,000 seems fair for a car of this caliber, especially considering the clean title and current registration. If you're in the market for a classic Corvette, this one is definitely worth checking out. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and take it for a test drive before making a final decision. 7. We've got a unique find on Craigslist, a 1971 Ford Ranchero that's looking for a new home. This classic pickup car hybrid is being offered for just $6,500, and based on the seller's description, it seems like a solid deal. Under the hood, you'll find a 302 V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission. The seller mentions that the Ranchero runs and drives well, which is a great sign for any classic vehicle. They also note that everything works as it should, suggesting that this Ranchero has been well maintained over the years. The exterior of this Ranchero is finished in its original green paint, which is a nice touch for those who appreciate a classic car's authenticity. The seller does mention that there is some minor rust on the driver's side rear wheel well, but they emphasize that this is the only spot with rust. While any rust is something to keep an eye on, the fact that it's limited to one small area is a positive sign. Moving on to the interior, the seller states that it's also green, which likely means that this Ranchero has its original interior as well. They don't provide any details about the condition of the interior, so that's something a potential buyer would want to investigate further. One interesting aspect of this Ranchero is its ownership history. The seller mentions that they are the second owner, which suggests that this vehicle has had a relatively stable life. It's always a good sign when a classic car has had few owners, as it often means that it's been well cared for over the years. The seller also notes that the Ranchero has never been in an accident, which is another huge plus. Accidents can cause hidden damage that may not be immediately apparent, so knowing that this Ranchero has a clean history is a great selling point. With just 61,000 miles on the odometer, this Ranchero has relatively low mileage for its age. While mileage isn't everything when it comes to classic cars, it's still a good indication that this vehicle hasn't been overworked or abused. The seller mentions that the Ranchero is currently registered and that they have a clean title in hand. This is important information for any potential buyer, as it shows that the car is legal to drive and has a clear history. Finally, the seller states that they must sell this Ranchero, which could give a potential buyer some negotiating room. However, the asking price of $6,500 seems fairly reasonable for a unique classic vehicle in apparently solid condition. In conclusion, this 1971 Ford Ranchero seems like a great opportunity for any enthusiast looking for a distinctive classic car. With its 302 V8 engine, automatic transmission, and original green exterior and interior, this Ranchero has a lot of charm. While the minor rust is something to keep an eye on, the overall condition of the vehicle seems to be quite good, especially considering its age and mileage. If you're in the market for a classic Ranchero, this one is definitely worth checking out. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and take it for a test drive before making a final decision. 8. We've got an interesting find on Craigslist. A 1972 Buick Skylark that's in need of a new owner to continue its restoration journey. This classic coupe is being offered for $7,500 or best offer. And based on the seller's description, it seems like a project car with potential. Under the hood, you'll find a 350 engine, which is a classic Buick power plant known for its smooth performance. The seller mentions that the car runs well, which is a great starting point for any project car. However, they also note that the Skylark needs cosmetic work both inside and out, so potential buyers should be prepared to invest some time and effort into bringing this car back to its former glory. The exterior of this Skylark is finished in a silver paint job, but the seller doesn't provide any details about the condition of the paint or body. Given that the car needs cosmetic work, it's likely that there are some dings, dents, or rust spots that will need to be addressed. Moving on to the interior, the seller again mentions that cosmetic work is needed. This could range from minor issues like worn upholstery to more significant problems like a damaged dashboard or missing trim pieces. As with any project car, it's important to thoroughly inspect the interior to get a sense of the scope of work required. One thing to note about this Skylark is that the odometer has rolled over, meaning that the actual mileage is unknown. The seller lists the mileage as 128,000, but it's unclear if this is the actual mileage or if it's 128,000 miles, plus an additional 100,000 or more. This is something that potential buyers will want to investigate further and keep in mind when considering the overall condition of the car. The seller mentions that they don't have the time to continue the restoration project, which suggests that some work has already been done on the car. However, they also state that the car will be sold as is, so buyers should be prepared to take on any remaining work themselves. It's worth noting that the seller is only interested in serious buyers with cash, which is a common request for project cars like this. The asking price of $7,500 or best offer suggests that there may be some room for negotiation, but potential buyers should have a clear idea of their budget and the work required before making an offer. In conclusion, this 1972 Buick Skylark seems like a project car with potential for the right buyer. With its 350 engine and running condition, it has a solid foundation for a restoration. However, the cosmetic work needed both inside and out means that this car is not for the faint of heart. The unknown actual mileage and as-is sale also adds some uncertainty to the overall condition of the car. If you're in the market for a classic Buick project and have the time, skills, and budget to take on a restoration, this Skylark could be a great opportunity. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and ask plenty of questions before making a decision. 9. We've got a real gem on Craigslist, a 1965 Chevrolet Corvair Monza convertible that's ready for a new owner to give it the final touches it deserves. This classic rear-engined beauty is being offered for $9,800, and based on the seller's description, it seems like a solid investment for any Corvair fan. First off, let's talk about the rarity of this car. The Corvair Monza convertible is a sought-after model, and finding one in this condition is becoming increasingly difficult. The seller mentions that this is a second-owner car, which is a great sign for any classic vehicle. It suggests that the car has been well cared for over the years and has likely avoided the neglect that some classic cars suffer. One of the most impressive aspects of this Corvair is its complete lack of rust. The seller emphasizes that the car has 0 rust, which is a huge selling point for any classic car. Rust is the enemy of old vehicles, and finding one that's completely rust-free is like striking gold. Under the hood, or rather in the rear, you'll find the Corvair's signature 6-cylinder engine. The seller doesn't provide any details about the engine's condition or performance, but they do mention that the car has its original miles. With just 76,000 miles on the odometer, this Corvair has plenty of life left in it. The exterior of this Corvair is currently in primer, which means that the new owner will have the opportunity to choose their desired color when they paint the car. The seller notes that the original color was light blue, but the possibilities are endless. The car also comes with lots of new parts, including chrome trim, a front bumper, and a Pertronix ignition system. These upgrades not only improve the car's appearance, but also its performance and reliability. Moving on to the interior, the seller doesn't provide any details about its condition. However, they do mention that the car comes with a new convertible top in the box, with only the rear plastic window portion used. This suggests that the interior may need some work, but the new top is a great starting point. The Corvair's automatic transmission makes it a great choice for cruising around town or hitting the highway. The seller also mentions that the car has 4 new KYB shocks, which should improve its ride quality and handling. In conclusion, this 1965 Chevrolet Corvair Monza convertible seems like a fantastic opportunity for any enthusiast looking for a classic car project. With its rust-free body, original miles, and new parts, this Corvair has a lot of potential. The fact that it's a second-owner car is also a great sign, as it suggests that the vehicle has been well maintained over the years. While the car's exterior and interior may need some work, the asking price of $9,800 seems reasonable for a rare and desirable classic like this. If you're in the market for a Corvair project and have the skills and budget to give this car the final touches it deserves, it's definitely worth checking out. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and ask plenty of questions before making a decision. 10. We've got a real treat for all you Oldsmobile fans out there. A 1985 Oldsmobile Toronado that's looking for a new home. This classic coupe is being offered for $7,500, and based on the seller's description, it seems like a great opportunity for any collector or enthusiast. First off, let's talk about the overall condition of this Toronado. The seller describes it as being in good condition, which is a solid starting point for any classic car. They mention that the car runs and drives, which is always a big plus. However, they do note that it needs a tune-up, so potential buyers should be prepared to invest a little time and money into getting this beauty running at its best. One thing to keep in mind is that the 2 front tires need replacing. This is a relatively minor issue, but it's something that potential buyers will want to factor into their budget and plans for the car. The seller also mentions that the Toronado needs some minor cosmetic work both on the exterior and interior. They don't provide any specific details about what this work entails, so potential buyers will want to inspect the car thoroughly to get a sense of the scope of the project. However, the fact that the seller describes the work as minor suggests that it shouldn't be too daunting for someone with a little experience and elbow grease. One interesting aspect of this Toronado is its custom paint job. The seller doesn't provide any details about the color or design, but a custom paint job can be a great way to make a classic car stand out from the crowd. Of course, the quality and condition of the paint will be important factors for potential buyers to consider. Under the hood, you'll find a classic Oldsmobile 8-cylinder engine. These engines are known for their smooth power delivery and durability, so it's a great sign that this Toronado has its original power plant. The front-wheel drive layout is also a notable feature of the Toronado, as it was one of the first American cars to offer this configuration. With approximately 155,000 miles on the odometer, this Toronado has seen its fair share of the road. However, for a classic car that's over 35 years old, this mileage is not necessarily a deal breaker. The key will be to assess the overall condition of the car and determine how well it's been maintained over the years. The seller emphasizes that this is a car for serious Oldsmobile enthusiasts and collectors, which suggests that they're looking for a buyer who will appreciate the Toronado's history and significance. They also mention that inquiries should be serious, so potential buyers should be prepared to make a solid offer and follow through with the purchase. In conclusion, this 1985 Oldsmobile Toronado seems like a great opportunity for any enthusiast or collector looking for a classic coupe with a custom touch. While it may need some minor mechanical and cosmetic work, the overall condition of the car seems to be good, and the asking price of $7,500 is not unreasonable for a vehicle of this caliber. If you're serious about adding a Toronado to your collection and are prepared to invest a little time and effort into making it shine, this car is definitely worth a closer look. As always, be sure to inspect the vehicle thoroughly and ask plenty of questions before making a decision. 11. We've got a real blast from the past on Craigslist. A 1977 Cadillac Coupe de Ville that's looking for a new owner to give it the love it deserves. This vintage luxury cruiser is being offered for $4,500 or best offer, and based on the seller's description, it seems like a solid deal for anyone who appreciates the style and comfort of a classic Caddy. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 425 cubic inch V8 engine, which is the heart and soul of any classic Cadillac. These engines are known for their smooth, effortless power delivery, and the seller mentions that this one runs great. That's a promising sign for any potential buyer, as a well-running engine is the foundation of any good classic car. One of the most impressive aspects of this Coupe de Ville is its incredibly low mileage. The odometer reads just 23,300 miles, which is remarkably low for a car that's over 40 years old. Of course, it's always a good idea to verify the accuracy of the mileage, but if it's true, this Cadillac has a lot of life left in it. The seller mentions that the car has power windows, which is a nice feature to have in any classic vehicle. They also note that the Coupe de Ville has new tires, which is another big plus. New tires can be expensive, so it's great to know that this car has fresh rubber all around. Now, let's talk about the overall condition of this Cadillac. The seller mentions that it needs a little TLC, which is not uncommon for a car of this age. They don't provide any specific details about what kind of work the car needs, so potential buyers will want to inspect it thoroughly to get a sense of the scope of the project. However, the fact that the seller is upfront about the car needing some work is a good sign, as it shows that they're being honest about the vehicle's condition. It's worth noting that the seller is offering this Coupe de Ville as is, which means that they're not making any guarantees about its condition or functionality. This is a common practice when selling classic cars, as many of them are sold as project vehicles. Potential buyers should keep this in mind and be prepared to take on any necessary repairs or upgrades themselves. The asking price of $4,500 or best offer seems fairly reasonable for a classic Cadillac in running condition with low mileage. Of course, the final price will depend on the overall condition of the car and any negotiation between the buyer and seller. The or best offer part of the listing suggests that the seller is open to some negotiation so potential buyers shouldn't be afraid to make an offer if they're interested. In conclusion, this 1977 Cadillac Coupe Devil seems like a great opportunity for any classic car enthusiast who's looking for a luxurious cruiser with a lot of potential. With its powerful 425 V8 engine, low mileage, and new tires, this Caddy has a lot going for it. While it may need some TLC, the asking price of $4,500 or best offer makes it an attractive option for anyone who's willing to put in a little work to bring this classic back to its former glory. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and ask plenty of questions before making a decision. If you're ready to take on a classic Cadillac project, this Coupe de Ville is definitely worth a closer look. 12. We've got an absolute gem on our hands, a 1984 Cadillac Biarritz that's in absolutely stunning condition. This classic Caddy is being offered for $14,000, and based on the seller's description, it seems like an incredible opportunity to own a piece of American luxury car history. First off, let's talk about the overall condition of this Biarritz. The seller describes it as being in excellent condition, which is a huge plus for any classic car. They even go as far as saying that it drives and runs like new, which is a testament to how well this car has been maintained over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to provide all the smooth, effortless performance you'd expect from a classic Cadillac. These engines are known for their reliability and longevity, so it's great to hear that this one is running like new. One of the most impressive aspects of this Biarritz is its incredibly low mileage. The odometer shows just 42,000 miles, which is remarkably low for a car that's almost 40 years old. This suggests that the car has been well cared for and hasn't been subjected to the wear and tear of daily driving. It's a true time capsule that's ready for a new owner to enjoy. The seller doesn't provide any specific details about the car's features or options, but as a top-of-the-line Cadillac from the 1980s, you can expect it to be loaded with all the luxury amenities of the era. From plush leather seats to power everything, this Biarritz is sure to provide a comfortable and stylish driving experience. It's worth noting that the seller doesn't mention anything about the car's service history or any recent repairs or upgrades. While the low mileage and excellent condition are certainly promising signs, potential buyers will still want to inspect the car thoroughly and ask about its maintenance records to ensure that it's as good as it looks. The asking price of $14,000 may seem steep for a car from the 1980s, but it's important to keep in mind that this is a highly desirable classic Cadillac in exceptional condition. For the right buyer who appreciates the style, luxury, and history of these cars, it could be a worthwhile investment. In conclusion, this 1984 Cadillac Biarritz seems like an incredible opportunity for any classic car enthusiast who's looking for a luxurious, well-maintained vehicle with low mileage. The seller's description paints a picture of a car that's in excellent condition inside and out, and the powerful 8-cylinder engine promises to provide all the performance you could want. While the asking price may be on the high side, the car's condition and rarity could make it a valuable addition to any collection. As always, be sure to inspect the car thoroughly and ask plenty of questions before making a decision. If you're ready to experience the ultimate in classic Cadillac luxury, this Biarritz is definitely worth a closer look. 13. We're diving into the world of classic American luxury with a closer look at a 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville that's currently up for grabs. This beauty is being offered at a price of $12,500. Now, let's get into the details. The seller mentions that this Coupe de Ville is in good condition, which is always a plus when you're dealing with a car that's over 4 decades old. It's powered by a robust 8-cylinder engine and comes with a smooth shifting automatic transmission, delivering that signature Cadillac ride quality. The car also boasts a clean title, indicating a clear ownership history. One of the standout features of this 1979 Cadillac is its low mileage. With just 73,000 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this car has been cherished and well maintained by its previous owners. The seller even notes that all the electrical features, including the air conditioning, are functioning properly, which is a testament to the care that's gone into this vehicle. Aesthetically, the Coupe de Ville sports a stunning blue paint job. While the seller mentions it has been repainted once, it was done in the same color, maintaining its original charm. The pictures showcase a car that looks to be in impressive condition, both inside and out. It's worth noting that while the seller describes the car as being in good condition, it's always wise to inspect the vehicle in person or have a trusted mechanic take a look before making a purchase. This ensures that you have a complete understanding of the car's current state. Overall, this 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville presents an exciting opportunity for collectors or enthusiasts seeking a well-preserved piece of American automotive history. With its low mileage, clean title, and properly functioning features, it's a car that demands attention. If you're in the market for a classic luxury ride, this Coupe de Ville is definitely worth considering. As always, we recommend doing your due diligence, researching the market, and thoroughly evaluating the car before making a decision. But based on the information provided, this 1979 Cadillac Coupe de Ville seems like a promising prospect for those looking to cruise in classic style. 14. We've got a real treat for you, a 1974 Plymouth Duster that's been brought back to life after 25 years in dry storage. This beauty is a true barn find, and it's been completely restored to excellent running condition. The seller is asking $7,500 for this classic ride, and from what we can see, it looks like a pretty sweet deal. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, what about the cosmetic finish and the tires? And you're right, those are the only things left to do on this Duster. But let's be real. With all the work that's already been done under the hood and on the chassis, those are just minor details. Speaking of the work that's been done, let's dive into the details. The fuel system has been completely overhauled with a new tank, rebuilt carb, flushed lines, new rubber hoses, and a new fuel filter. The brakes have been completely redone all around, with a new master cylinder, rehabbed vacuum booster, new calipers, wheel cylinders, brake hoses, and premium quality rear shoes. The front pads are still good, and the whole system has been flushed. The chassis has been given a full grease job, and the motor oil and filter have been replaced with ZDDP additive for cam and lifter protection. There's a new battery with a new negative cable, a new radiator, and hoses, and the engine is a good running 318 with few miles on it. It's even got new plugs and wires, a new voltage regulator, and an ignition voltage step-down ballast. Now I know the seller says the car is in good condition, but let's be honest, it's not perfect. The cosmetic finish still needs some work, and it needs new tires. But that's the beauty of a project car like this. You get to put your own personal touch on it and make it truly yours. Overall, if you're looking for a classic Mopar that's been brought back to life and is ready for you to put your own spin on it, this 1974 Plymouth Duster might just be the one for you. It's got a clean title, an automatic transmission, and a whole lot of potential. So why not take a chance on this barn find beauty and see where the road takes you? 15. We've got a real gem for you, a 1968 Ford Torino that's about as original as they come. This beauty is being sold for $11,500, and let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, let's talk about the condition of this Torino. The seller says it's in good shape, and from what we can see, they're not lying. The original paint is still intact, and the headliner is in great condition. The floors, truck, and body rails are all rust-free, which is a huge plus for a car of this age. And get this, it's still got the original glass and carpet. Under the hood, you'll find a numbers-matching 302 V8F code engine that's ready to rumble, and with a clean California title and current registration, you can hit the road as soon as you get your hands on this beauty. But what really sets this Torino apart is the love and care that's gone into it over the years. The seller purchased it from a friend who bought it from the original owner, so you know it's been in good hands. And with all the updates that have been made, this car is ready to be your daily driver. We're talking a new radiator, a new OEM dash, a new water pump, a new power brake booster, a new brake system, a new fuel tank, a rebuilt carburetor, a new distributor, a new starter, new tires, and all new hoses and bands. Plus, the tires are in good shape, and there's even a new stereo with Bluetooth inside the glove box. Now, the seller does mention a couple of things that need to be addressed. Namely, the carpet and bench seat could use some love. But honestly, those are just minor details in the grand scheme of things. This Torino is a survivor car through and through, and it's just begging to be driven and enjoyed. So if you're in the market for a classic ride that's got tons of original charm and has been lovingly maintained over the years, this 1968 Ford Torino might just be the one for you. It's the kind of car that you can drive every day while slowly fixing up the little bits here and there. And with its clean title and great condition, it's a car that you'll be proud to show off at any classic car meet. In short, if you're into survivor cars and want a ride that's got a whole lot of heart, you need to see this Torino in person to truly appreciate it. 16. We're taking a closer look at a real beauty, a 1983 Buick Riviera convertible that's up for grabs for just $8,000. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Just $8,000 for a classic convertible like this? What's the catch? But hear me out, because this car has a lot going for it. First off, let's talk about the basics. This Riviera is powered by a robust 8-cylinder engine that runs on gasoline, and it's paired with an automatic transmission that makes driving a breeze. The odometer shows just 92,000 miles, which is pretty low for a car of this age. And get this, the seller even has the original paperwork for the car, which is a real rarity these days. Now, I know the ad doesn't go into a ton of detail about the condition of the car, but the seller does say that it runs great. And in my experience, when a seller says a car runs great, that's usually a pretty good sign. Of course, with any classic car, there are bound to be a few imperfections here and there, but that's just part of the charm. One thing that really sets this Riviera apart is the fact that it's a convertible. There's just something about cruising down the road with the top down that never gets old, and with this car, you can do just that. Imagine feeling the wind in your hair as you take this beauty out for a spin on a warm summer day. It's the kind of experience that every car enthusiast dreams of. Of course, as with any used car, it's always a good idea to give it a thorough inspection before making a purchase. But if this Riviera checks out, it could be a real steal at just $8,000. Parts for these cars are still readily available, so even if it does need a little bit of work here and there, it's definitely a project that's worth taking on. At the end of the day, if you're in the market for a classic convertible that won't break the bank, this 1983 Buick Riviera is definitely worth checking out. It's got a clean title, a strong engine, and a whole lot of potential. And with summer just around the corner, now is the perfect time to snap it up and hit the road in style. So what are you waiting for? Go take a look and see if this Riviera is the one for you. 17. We've got something really special for you. A 1981 Buick LeSabre that's in absolutely pristine condition. This beauty is being offered for sale at just $11,000. And let me tell you, it's worth every penny. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this LeSabre has had only one owner throughout its entire life? That's right, just one lucky individual has had the pleasure of driving this car for the past 40 years, and it shows in the car's incredible condition. The seller mentions that it's been garage kept, and it really shows. The blue paint is still shining like it's brand new, and there's not a scratch or ding to be found. But what really sets this LeSabre apart is the incredibly low mileage. With just 30,700 original miles on the odometer, this car has barely been broken in. To To put that into perspective, that's an average of just 768 miles per year since it was first sold. It's clear that this car has been cherished and well maintained throughout its life, and it's just waiting for its next owner to take it out on the open road. Under the hood, you'll find a reliable gasoline engine that's paired with a smooth shifting automatic transmission. These cars were built to last, and with such low mileage, you can bet that this one has plenty of life left in it. Whether you're looking for a classic daily driver or a car to take to shows and events, this LeSabre is sure to turn heads wherever it goes. Inside, the car is just as impressive as it is on the outside. The interior is in excellent condition, with no signs of wear or tear. The seats are still plush and comfortable, and all of the controls and features are in perfect working order. It's clear that this car has been loved and cared for throughout its life, and it shows in every detail. Of course, as with any used car, it's always a good idea to give it a thorough inspection before making a purchase. But based on the seller's description and the photos provided, this LeSabre looks to be in truly excellent condition. It's got a clean title, low mileage, and a one-owner history that's hard to beat. So, if you're in the market for a classic American sedan that's been impeccably maintained and cherished throughout its life, this 1981 Buick LeSabre is definitely worth a closer look. With its stunning blue paint, plush interior, and low mileage, it's the kind of car that you'll be proud to own and drive for years to come. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history. Go check it out today. 18. We've got a real treat for you. A stunning 1972 Cadillac Eldorado that's been given a new lease on life. This beauty is being offered for sale at just $8,000. And let me tell you, it's a whole lot of car for the money. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the gorgeous tuxedo black paint job on this Eldorado? It's the kind of color that just oozes sophistication and style, and it looks absolutely fantastic on this classic Cadillac. The seller mentions that the interior has been completely redone with a new headliner, and it shows. The cabin looks absolutely pristine and inviting. But this Eldorado isn't just a pretty face. It's got the power to back it up. Under the hood, you'll find a massive 8.2 L500 CID engine that's been rebuilt to ensure that it's running at peak performance. Paired with an automatic transmission, this car is an absolute joy to drive. The seller mentions that it runs and drives great, and with new tires and brakes, you can feel confident behind the wheel. One of the best things about this Eldorado is that it's got ice-cold air conditioning, which is a real rarity in a car of this age. On hot summer days, you'll be able to cruise in comfort and style with the windows down and the AC blasting. And with a fresh tune and service, you can bet that this car is ready to hit the road at a moment's notice. Now, it's worth noting that the odometer has rolled over, which means that the actual mileage of the car is unknown. However, based on the overall condition of the car and the recent work that's been done, it's clear that this Eldorado has been well maintained throughout its life. And with a clean and clear Arizona title in the seller's name, you can feel confident in your purchase. One thing to keep in mind is that this is a private sale, which means that there's no tax involved. The seller is asking for cash or an in-person cashier's check, which is a pretty standard request for a car of this value. And while the seller had a friend post the ad for them, they're available for phone calls or texts if you have any questions or want to schedule a viewing. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American luxury car that's been given a new lease on life, this 1972 Cadillac Eldorado is definitely worth a closer look. With its stunning black paint, rebuilt engine, and ice-cold AC, it's the kind of car that you'll be proud to own and drive for years to come. And at just $8,000, it's a whole lot of car for the money. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history. Go check it out today. 19. We've got a real classic for you, a 1963 Ford Thunderbird that's looking for a new home. This beauty is being offered for sale at $15,000, but the seller is willing to negotiate a bit for the right buyer. Now, I want to be upfront with you guys. This T-Bird isn't perfect. It's a 63 after all, and it's seen its fair share of miles over the years. The odometer has rolled over, so the actual mileage is unknown, but the seller estimates it to be around 150,000. That being said, a lot of work has gone into keeping this car on the road, and it's clear that it's been loved and cared for throughout its life. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that runs on gasoline. Paired with an automatic transmission, this car is a real joy to drive. The seller mentions that it was actually their daily driver for a few years, which is a testament to its reliability and durability. And with a clean title, you can feel confident in your purchase. One of the things that really sets this T-Bird apart is its custom paint job. The seller doesn't go into too much detail about the color, but based on the photos, it looks like a stunning shade of blue that really makes the car pop. It's the kind of color that's sure to turn heads wherever you go, and it really showcases the classic lines and curves of this iconic American car. Now, the seller does mention that the car isn't perfect, and that's something to keep in mind if you're considering making an offer. They're willing to discuss the condition and details further with anyone who's seriously interested. So if you've got questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. And while the asking price is $15,000, the seller is open to negotiation for a cash deal. One thing to note is that the car is currently located in Copperas Cove, Texas, at the seller's friend's house. The seller has moved to Hewitt, which is why they've decided to part with this classic beauty. So if you're not local to the area, you'll want to factor in the cost of transportation when considering your offer. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American car with a ton of character and history, this 1963 Ford Thunderbird is definitely worth a closer look. It's got a clean title, a powerful engine, and a stunning custom paint job that's sure to turn heads. And while it may not be perfect, it's clear that a lot of love and care has gone into keeping this car on the road over the years. So if you're ready to take on a classic project car and make it your own, don't hesitate to reach out to the seller and start a conversation. Who knows? You might just drive away with a piece of American automotive history. 20. We've got a real gem for you. A 1966 Chevrolet Impala that's ready for a new owner. This classic beauty is being offered for sale at just $11,500, and let me tell you, it's a whole lot of car for the money. First off, let's talk about the engine. This Impala is currently running a 283 cubic inch V8 paired with a TH350 automatic transmission, which is a great combo for cruising around town or hitting the highway. However, the seller is including the original 2-speed Power Glide transmission with the sale, so if you're a purist looking to restore this car to its original specs, you've got that option as well. One of the coolest things about this Impala is that it comes with a certified number matching certificate from the North Carolina Department of Theft. That means that the engine and other key components are original to the car, which is a huge plus for collectors and enthusiasts alike. Now, I want to be upfront with you guys. This car isn't perfect. The seller mentions that the trunk pan is rusted and needs a fuel tank strap, but they also note that it's currently secure and they drive the car every week. So while it may need a little TLC in that department, it's not a deal breaker by any means. In terms of overall condition, the seller rates it as good, and based on the photos, I'd say that's a fair assessment. The black paint looks great, and the car has a really clean, classic look to it. The interior looks to be in good shape as well, with no major issues noted. One thing to keep in mind is that the speedometer is currently disconnected, but the seller has installed a GPS speedometer to keep track of your speed. It's a minor issue, but definitely something to be aware of if you're considering making an offer. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car with a ton of potential, this 1966 Chevrolet Impala is definitely worth a closer look. It's got a number-matching engine, a clean title, and a whole lot of style. Whether you want to drive it as is or continue to restore and upgrade it, this car is a great platform to work with. And at just $11,500, it's a lot of car for the money. The seller also mentions that they're open to trade-ins, so if you've got another classic car or motorcycle that you're looking to part with, this could be a great opportunity to make a deal. And if you're not local to the area, don't let that discourage you. The seller may be willing to work with you on shipping or delivery options. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of classic American muscle cars and you're looking for a project that you can really sink your teeth into, this 1966 Chevrolet Impala is definitely worth considering. It's got a ton